pretty hefty check.
Yes, I would say so.
And that is that's another show, though. You're listening to Tulsa Beacon Weekend. I'm your host, Charlie Biggs, publisher of the Tulsa Beacon newspaper, Tulsa's family newspaper. And if you want to find out a little bit more about the Wanamaker Gun Show, which is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the Tulsa County Fairgrounds, we have a report on that too. It's the largest gun show of its kind in the world, and with gun control being probably the hottest national topic right now. If you haven't been to that show, you ought to drop by and take a look. And we're talking with Don Crall, C-R-A-L-L, who is running for county commissioner. Fred Perry, Commissioner Perry from District 3, has decided to retire, and there will be filing for office next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then a primary election on the June 11th. Now, what happens? The county election is a little different than the city election. What is the process?
Well, the process is, of course, June 11th is the primary, and there's conflicting views on what's going to happen after that. There's several people checking into it. Some are saying that it's a winner-take-all. The way I understand it, it will be a runoff if someone doesn't get 50%. So I can't really tell you the exact right now. We're investigating that.
So, okay, so we'll have to talk to the election board.
Right, and we're hoping to find that out today or tomorrow because people need to know that.
Oh, absolutely. And how can people contact your campaign?
They can contact me at doncrall.com. That is Don, DONCRALL.com. doncrall.com.
Well, as you started your campaign, what are the issues that people are talking to you about?
Most of the issues are really infrastructure.
Okay.
Most people feel like the county roads that border the cities are in disrepair, and they'd like to see more attention paid to them. And
you live in an unincorporated area, right?
I do,
yeah, okay.
Yes. So that's the issue that I'm hearing the most.
Okay.
Of course, everyone wants to talk about Vision 2. So I've really told them the same things I've told you. We really need to keep all options on the table. We have to be able to at least come up with a choice, and we have to vet it. Everyone in the city needs to be involved. And I believe of where I stand, I'm not a career politician. I'm not a public relations professional. I'm a businessman. I know how to work with people. I know how to get things done. I know how to get things done on a tight budget. So we need to be able to work with everyone, not just small groups, so that we can come up with the best choices. And don't get me wrong, I'm not pushing bonds.
Right.
I'm pushing lower taxes because I believe we need to be fiscally responsible. I don't know why we can't have it both ways. If we were to do a pay-as-you-go, we may still be able to reduce the bonds, or reduce how much taxes we're collecting, so everyone wins. We get our taxes lowered slightly. We still get some of the things that we're looking for. We certainly have to separate our wants from our needs. And get priorities.
What do you think? What kind of shape do you think this county government is financially?
It's sound. The county government. Well, the amount of money that they collect just for county is dictated by state statute. It's just like the libraries and the higher ed. Tulsa
Oklahoma's kind of unique because a lot of states don't do this, but we have certain millage from property tax that's committed to the library, to the Tulsa Community College, to
Tulsa Technology,
Tulsa Tech, and the health department, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Do you think that's a good system?
I thought it was. Well, well, if you think about it, if public schools were that way, they wouldn't have the financial crunches they have. But they may also be sitting on stockpiles of money like some of these other entities.
Yeah, in the Oklahoma legislature a few years ago, there was a push for zero-based budgeting, which basically means that instead of an agency coming in every year and saying, well, we want 105% of what we got last year, they had to come in and defend that 100% first. Yes,
and that would be a great system. I think rather than go and just pull the money out, which would have to be a vote of the people,
right.
We really need to figure out a better system. Do we need to tweak that millage to where it's not as high as it is? Do we need to, make them spend the money? Because that's really not what our intention is. So maybe earmark. Is it for another building? I mean, we really need to know what they're using it for.
Well, the money's restricted too. I mean, it's not like they can put that money in the general fund. There are certain limitations, right?
Right. So I think it's just a matter of mainly educating people about what the money is for, what they can use it for, and how, if we feel that it is too abundant, how can we reduce it?
Well, there's some people that feel like, like Votech and some other people that have these fixed millages that are kind of, the savings are piling up.
Yes.
And yet you have the district attorney's office, which is really funded by the state.
Yes.
And you have the county sheriff, which are very critical areas in terms of public safety, and that a lot of people feel like they're underfunded.
It's kind of a weird situation, isn't it? We take our public safety and we don't fund it properly. And then we take some of these other wants, that we could actually, we could get away with a library or two less.
Well, libraries are going through a transition, really, because they're becoming electronic.
Yes.
People aren't relying on books as much, and I guess more and more people are having the internet in their homes.
Correct.
And access. And like all of us, we're going through a technological revolution.
Yes, that's true.
And some wonder whether we'll have libraries in the future, or especially if we'll have libraries in the form they are right now.
I actually had a discussion. We were called together by McGraw-Hill to discuss our latest textbook at Tulsa Community College. It's an intro to business book.
Uh-huh.
And the lady that was presenting how we can use the book and use some online resources, she said, "This may be the last textbook you ever see."
Well, hallelujah, because I've got two kids. I got one kid in college. I'll have three next fall.
Yes.
The one that's in College Ozarks up in Branson, he has saved a ton of money by getting electronic versions of textbooks.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking about a textbook that might cost $300 that he can get, an electronic version for $10. I don't know.
That's right. Yes. $240 is what this book is.
Yeah.
It's outrageous, but you understand by textbooks going by the wayside, pretty soon it's going to be hard to go into a library and touch a book.
Yeah, and so there is an issue of whether, if we do have libraries, what form they will take in the future.
Correct. And what kind of funding would be necessary. I mean, you would definitely need to adjust that somehow, some form. Yeah,
and one of the problems, before we get off the millage, is that it's really easy to use this dedicated millage money for building buildings. Mm-hmm. And when you build buildings, you have to staff them, you have to heat and cool them.
Correct.
And there are operating funds that go up. So it's kind of a treadmill. You build more buildings and you have more operating expenses.
Correct. Yes. I know one concept that Tulsa Community College is working on with public schools is creating an environment where that they can teach college classes at the school properties, kind of make a marriage to where kids can still get their first 2 years of education from their high school. And that, I believe, is a concept that probably will catch on a lot.
Well, it's interesting because I think TCC has the highest enrollment of any
does.
School in the state. But when you look at how many state-supported schools there are in Tulsa, I mean, you have Langston, you have OSU Tulsa, OU Tulsa, NSU is in Broken Arrow.
Yes.
Who am I leaving out? The TCC. You kind of wonder as a business model, the efficiency of having all those entities swirling around in here and competing with Tulsa and Southern Nazarene and even Oklahoma Wesleyan and St. Gregory's.
Right. Isn't it ironic? How many years ago, maybe, I don't know, it wasn't too many years
1970,
ago, we had no schools.
Well,
TU maybe, ORU.
Tulsa Junior College. I went there in 1972. That was Tulsa was the largest city in the country without a state-supported higher education facility, in the whole country.
Yes.
We're about out of time. We're talking with Don Crall, who is a Republican running for Tulsa County Commissioner, District 3. What's your message, Don, to our listeners?
My message is I believe I'm the right candidate. And what I would ask you is what are you looking for? Are you looking for a conservative? That's me. Are you looking for a Christian that has integrity and values? That's me. Are you looking for someone that's not in politics? I've never been. I have no intentions of ever running for any other position because this is where my skills are. Are you looking for someone that knows how to squeeze a dollar and get everything we can out of it and still keep the trains running on time? That's me.
Yeah. Because
that is the way I've had to do. That's the way my business has been successful. And I think I've proven my leadership by replacing myself, by teaching other people to do what I do. Because, really when it boils right down to it, is that not what we should be doing? Trying to help others become successful. And it's something that I've dedicated most of my life to doing.
Well, Don, it's great to meet you. We've been talking with Don Crall. Please tell people how they can contact your campaign.
And you can reach me at doncrall.com. That's doncrall.com, DONCRALL.com.
And you only have about a 60-day window for this campaign, right?
Yes, that's it.
So it's go, go, go.
We are. We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for more donors. So if anyone's interested, please contact me.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, and best wishes to you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time on Tulsa Beacon Weekend.